Welcome to City Talk on City Channel Pittsburgh. I'm John McIntire, and this is Kim Clark Baskin, Deputy City Clerk. Kim, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
You've been here 26 years.
Yes.
What changes have you seen over time in the City Clerk's office? And then we'll get into what the City Clerk does.
Okay. Let's see. I worked through 3 administrations, and many different council members really, they come and they go. Of course, they're here for 4 years. A lot of staff changes in the clerk's office. We recently got a new clerk. So I've seen a lot, a lot of come and go.
You keep a lot of records, I know, among
Yes.
other things. Has the technology for that changed over the years?
Yes, it has. We recently hired an archivist. His name is Nick Hartley, who has come in to help us get a handle on all of the city records and be able to archive them and keep them in order, especially a lot of the old records. We still have a lot of people coming in asking for records from the 1800s and early 1900s.
Really?
And a lot of our technology changed.
Why might they want records from the 1800s or 1900s?
I don't know. We ask ourselves that, when they do come in and they ask for that stuff, and we're like, what could you possibly want that's relevant now from the 1800s? So a lot of them, a lot dealing with property and property lines and streets and things of that nature. So you'd be surprised at things that people come to the clerk's office and ask for.
So give us a more general idea of what the City Clerk's office does.
Sure. The clerk's office, we are the official record keeper for the city of Pittsburgh, and we also serve as the administrative branch to City Council. So we are, I guess you can say, we help them float. We prepare their minutes and their legislation. The administration always sends over legislation, which are resolutions and ordinances that will be introduced in City Council, which govern the city of Pittsburgh. We have day-to-day legislation, and then we also have legislation that makes up the laws that make up the city of Pittsburgh.
So every time a council person has an idea, they might give you the facts and you'll put it in proper form?
Their office actually do that.
Okay.
So when we get it, it's already done. All we have to do is just format it and put it into our legislative tracking software, which is Legistar, and that automatically generates our agendas for council, and we give that to them on Tuesday and Wednesdays.
So it sounds like between the archivist and better computer technology, you guys have really advanced things quite a bit since you started 26 years ago.
Oh, definitely, definitely. It comes from a long line of when they first started out. A lot of our books are handwritten, and then it went to typewritten, and now we're able to search electronically, whereas before we just had to go to the typewritten books and just search, and now we're able to do a lot more.
And what you mentioned property records, obviously. What other kinds of records do you keep track of?
We have property records. We have different deeds to different properties when streets were vacated. We have where creeks and water lines are located, and people come in looking for when neighbors have disputes. There's different ordinances where you can only build things so high, or you can't have so many of one thing. So,
or did people build something that they think is in their yard, but it really crosses the property line?
Yes, we get a whole lot of that. And then when it comes to being specific with the property line, we have to direct them to the finance department so they can find out exactly where their lines are.
Interesting. And so it sounds like you like your job.
Yeah, I do. I've been here. I started off straight out of college, out of IUP. Linda Johnson-Wasser was the city clerk at that time. Wonderful woman. I came up under her, great mentor. And over the years, I went from different positions, from an intern to I used to do stenography work, and I was the supervisor, I was administrative assistant, and then I was recently appointed in September 2014 as deputy city clerk.
Belated congratulations.
Thank you.
I know some people have interned for the city but didn't necessarily know that they wanted a career in government, and then just ended up finding it fascinating a lot more than they thought they would.
Right.
And that's how they kept going. Is that sort of your story to some degree?
When I started in 1994, 93, 94, I was totally clueless.
It's not like you majored in city government or something, if there was such a major.
You know, Linda said, you know, I need an intern. I said, okay, I can come and do that. Didn't know who the mayor was, unfortunately. Sad to say back then, I just wasn't interested in politics. But the more that I did the work and the more I was learning the different council members and just seeing, you know, how my community was run and who ran my community in different communities, it became interesting. And now, like, I really actually do love my job.
And yet so many people don't really know what goes on in a lot of areas of city government.
Right.
I mean, you and I were probably among them before we joined the team.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. We get a lot of young people that come through the doors. We get a lot of high school students who come in with council and come in through Pittsburgh History and Landmarks with their tours. And my main thing, you know, that I impress upon them is education and being involved in their local government. It's nothing like living in a community, watching things happen around you, and you don't know why they're happening, and you have questions, but you don't know who to go to. So I always try to encourage them to get involved in their local politics.
So you worked for Tom Murphy, briefly Bob O'Connor, Luke Ravenstall, and now Mayor Peduto.
Yeah.
Has there been many changes, or is your job sort of consistent regardless of who's in charge?
My job is consistent, regardless of who is in charge. You know, we get the legislation from the administration that they want council to consider, and our job has remained the same. It's been a pleasure working with as many mayors. I'm blessed to have been here as long as I have been. So it's been a joy.
A lot of attention to detail in the clerk's office, I'm guessing, is necessary?
Sometimes we get some hot button issues, and they come to us because we have the votes. You know, a lot of times the reporters are looking for who voted what way on certain things, and then, you know, when election time comes, we also have those opponents running against our sitting members who want to know how they voted.
That's probably a pretty busy time.
Yeah, election time is definitely busy, especially when, you know, some of our members are up for re-election.
All right, and so you would recommend, if a young person was thinking of a career in city government, that it's a good place to be and an interesting place to be?
Oh, absolutely. I 100% would agree with that. We have my staff. We went from a really large staff at one time. The clerk's office housed almost 25 staffers. Now we're down to about 7, and we work great together. We're an absolute awesome team. I couldn't ask for a better group of people, and, you know, we can definitely point you in the right direction when it comes to just trying to find out what you need to know about your local government and the communities that you live in.
Kim, Clark, Baskin, I'm thinking the taxpayers enjoy meeting people like you because your taxpayer dollars at work, only it's in a good way.
Yeah, I would like to think so.
Thank you so much for doing the program.
Thank you.
I'm John McIntire. We'll see you next time on City Talk.